ATL with another.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binary pals, baby mamas, baby daddies, and everybody in between. It's your boy, Gresh Unleashed.
I'm like mellow when I shoot, I don't miss. Yeah, they better check my stats, call me Chris. Yeah, I ain't fly, but I'm known to whip that trick. Yeah. Real quick, dog, let me talk my ish. 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 Yeah, I'm feeling unleashed, call me Gresh. Yeah, I'm feeling unleashed, call me
Oh man, Jermaine.
ATL with another.
Bro, I can't get nothing.
You might have to reload or go to your settings. That's okay. We live though.
Could y'all hear me though?
Yeah, I can hear you. You good?
Right,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Everything good with you though?
Yeah, man. Everything good with me, man. Just chilling. You know, mom just had like a little spell, but she alright though.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, long day after work. Decided to be a hood nigga and get some Chinese food.
Long day. Speaking of long day, man. it took everything within me not to walk out of the current show that I was doing today.
Damn.
They doing it was a conference, like something chill to start off the new year. But for some reason they said, hey, we're going to have every participant utilize every noise making device possible.
Nah, I be tight.
So after 5 minutes, I was like, okay, this is getting annoying. Imagine up to 10 hours.
Oh, nah, that's
Yeah.
a long day.
Man, y'all won't believe why I couldn't hear y'all.
Why we couldn't hear you, brother?
Take one guess.
Why
I'm
I feel like it's something stupid.
Yeah, I'm stumped.
I had the laptop muted.
Jermaine.
Emotional
Ah,
damage.
Jermaine.
Bruh, you know it's always something, bruh. It's always something. Like I can never. I just want to pod in peace one day. I just want to get on the pod and just pod in peace. I don't have nothing go wrong, no hiccups, no nothing. That'll probably never happen, but I don't understand.
We in the right profession.
That's a trick of the trade, right?
Big facts. Big facts.
That's a trick of the trade.
It happens all the time. It's like,
Bro.
honestly, today, speaking of my show, today we were having so many technical difficulties. Everybody was panicking. I'm just calm. I'm like, this is the jack of the trade. Headphones be muted.
It's always something.
Somebody likes to have the microphone right there at the speaker and wonder why they keep hearing feedback.
Yeah. Nah.
And I'm like, I just be like, pull it back. Oh,
man.
Exactly. Pull it back.
It was. It can be one of those days, any day.
Yeah, so but other than that, yeah, I was like, yeah, let me hurry up and get back to the crib and at least pod with the fellas, because dealing with clients and making noise, like Jermaine, you have kids. They were toddlers at one point.
Mm-hmm.
You know how when you have a newborn baby that gets the noisiest gifts for Christmas from the godmama or the godparents or the aunts and uncles. The aunts and uncles, they can go home. They can go home to peace and quiet. But then when the kids is opening, all you hear is that was literally me for 10 hours today.
Yo,
that's how I
10
heard.
hours, bro.
And the sad thing is, I was looking around like, okay, maybe I'm thinking about some kids. These are grown people. Just make it every time someone spoke, for crowd participation. And I'm like, an hour. I'm like, okay, 5 hours. I'm getting heated. Once 5 o'clock hit, I'm like, okay, can y'all wrap this up? Y'all giving me a headache. That's why I had to pop these. That's why I had to pop this ibuprofen, because I'm like, I have a headache still from this goddamn show that I just had to do. But luckily, we are here.
Yeah,
we got nearly 100 people with us live. We got y'all for the next hour and some change. Talk about all things, good things, wrestling, and all that stuff. And speaking of all that stuff, might as well go ahead and cue that intro and get the show on the.
Feeling like Gresh Unleashed. When the club go around here, I'm the cactus. Bang, bang, gang, I don't owe you jack. When I'm in the ring, it's just me and my best friends. OC cutting no slack. Hollywood Miz, you can put me on the A-list. Gresh Unleashed, better put it on your playlist. Me and my fam be ballin' like the Bruce. Fight night, baby, hard hitting like Sheamus. Family first, yes, bloodline business. Winning all the gold, look at how they witness. I was taught to be the greatest. 1,000 days I'm running, check out the book of Guinness. Coolin' with the baddies in the baddie section. Guarantee you they ain't jaded. Yellow, you baby face, I ain't feeling your gimmick. The fans think it's overrated. I bet you thought you the EST, but homie, you don't even really go here. I'm better than you and you know it. Scumbag, baby, I'ma make that clear. Making many moves while I'm headed on the flight. I'm the mega star, baby, on these LA nights. Putting on 5-star classics, contract year, cause today is a whole new price. Brock Lesnar on the beast. Eat, sleep, flex, and repeat. Whole new swag with a price on the tag. Coming live from the west to the east. Better recognize eyes on the mouthpiece. See the power level gotta increase. Bringing content on a daily. Feeling like Gresh Unleashed.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binary pals, baby mamas, baby daddies, and everybody in between. Welcome back to the Gresh Unleashed podcast. This is episode 102 of the show that brings you the good vibes to the best of our abilities. Joining you as always, the voice that does the most, the purveyor of mischief, Gresh. And joining me is two men I consider good friends, good partners in crime. They are representing two respectable brands here in the pro wrestling community, as a lot of us like to say. Starting off is our boy Randy, representing the Backstage Brawl. What's good with your homie?
Chilling, man. Thank you for having me, man.
Always, like I'm hitting. It's the new year. I'm hitting up everybody. I'm like, if you've been on the show, come
same
back.
here. Same here.
If you've been on the show, come back. If you haven't been on the show, let's make it happen. That's just how I am. I'm like, if you available, all you gotta do is hop on. And I chose 7 p.m. because I feel like that's a respectable time that everybody's at the crib. It's before NXT for those who watch NXT, as well as it's like it's not too late because I know some people gotta get up early in the morning. Like 7 p.m. is that hot spot, according to my boy DJ. But speaking of my boy Jermaine, representing the Susio Boys, Susio Sports, I should say. What's good with you, brother?
Man, I'm chilling, man. Been a long day at work for me too. Everybody seemed like they had one of them days today, so it's good to just come on and relax and pod.
If I wasn't on my fitness journey, I would literally take a swig of rum right now. But I'm like, you know what? Juice will do.
I gotta commend you on that, man. I commend you on your fitness journey, man. It's kind of giving me the itch. But I'm Caribbean. I love food, but it's just like
the thing is, it's like I had this conversation. A lot of people think that on this fitness journey, I cut off what I eat. Like I increase what I eat. So I increase red meat. I increase because I'm gaining. I'm not trying to lose, or it's like because I already have the athletic part down pat. It's a genetic thing, but it's like my biggest challenge was always weight. Like I was stuck at like 145 majority of my 20s until the last year when I finally hit 150, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna get a little bit bigger. I'm not gonna get too big, but I'm gonna get a little bit bigger. I'm gonna go. My weight goal is a minimum of 160, and I'm good. I don't really care about getting too big.
Yeah, I'm under 240 now, but I think I'm gonna stay under 240.
Yes, and I always tell people too, because I remember, I forgot who told me. I think it was either my brother or it was either my brother or the conversation I had with John at when I linked up with him. He basically like, bro, just go based off of your height. Like, don't get too big, and you're not a giant, because then you're gonna look like a walking marshmallow. So, it's like I'm a respectable 5'11", so I'm stuck right here, 5'10", 5'11". I need to get up. I need to get my measurements updated so I can verify, because my doctor tells me 5'11", my mama tells me 5'10", so I'm gonna go get a final verdict so I can tell people the truth and not sound like I'm lying. But my ultimate goal is 160, and I'm done. After that, I'm just maintaining. And also, I do cardio, so I know for a fact that I'm not gonna get past that.
Yeah, that I had a nice exchange, just asking MVP a couple of questions earlier on Blue Sky. And he said he started his jiu-jitsu journey. He's a black belt now, 2013. So I'm like, this brother started his jiu-jitsu journey exactly 12 years ago, because he said it was January 2013. So 12 years ago, right? He's 51 now. He was 39 then. I'm like, that's not too far off from how old I am. So there's no reason that I can't like get back into a reasonable, set of shape.
Oh yeah. Like,
look more like a closer, like a formerly retired pro athlete than one that retired a long ass time ago.
Like I know myself. Like 1 minute I can go like from like a linebacker. I look like somebody that could be on a football field to like a Samoan real quick. So, so
Yeah,
it's like
somebody could be on the football field.
so like like there'll be times I'm like, yo, you play football, you play sports. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I play ball, like I hoop. Like I don't play football like that, but I hoop. It's like you should be
Yeah.
on the football field with how you like how I am physically. I mean, right now I'm wearing this flannel to make me look like I'm like Debo, but but that's just my natural frame. Like for whatever reason, me being Caribbean, like yo, we always got thick frames, so it's just like it's hard whether we gain or lose. Like high bone density, I just got to keep myself a happy medium. I'm around like 210. If I can get myself like around my peak where I want to be as like around 195, and that's reachable. So it's like unattainable. Like if I get to 195 and just tone up, I'll be all right. Like I'm 32. I'm trying to get back hooping, and because my boy Dre, you've had him on, the wise brother. He's
Ah,
yeah, he's been back at hooping. So I'm like, I just want to get back on the court and just have a good time again. So to do that, I'm gonna start,
Mm,
surely getting back into the grind. And thankfully, it's cold months. It's like easy for people to kind of like work out because by the time summertime comes around, it's like, yeah, I ain't trying to do that. So like, motherfuckers is inside, but I'm from New York, so it's just like, yo, I'm like I'm 5'10", 210, 5'10", 210 on a good
yeah,
day. If I get myself around 195, just increase strength and lean on a little bit, yeah, man. Like it's gonna be a nice summer for me.
yeah. I think the last time I stepped on the scale, it was like 238, 237, something like that.
Slow said,
So I'm
young
like, if
boy.
I could get back around that 225 range or so, I'll be all right.
Oh yeah, because what you call it, like, and also back the last thing on that, cause so we can, I guess people who are tuning in can hear us talk about the professional wrestling. Even though we always get compared to wrestlers. Even me, I'm like, bro, I'm little. How am I getting compared? It's like you should. I'm like, okay, whatever floats your boat, buddy. But there's this. I feel like there's this weird misconception that like if you like change how you eat, you won't be able to have a fit life because I used to be
Oh,
so obsessed with what I eat when I lived in Texas in 2019 that I was like I went full vegan and I'm like this shit don't work. Yeah, like I was going through because I was listening to motherfuckers who was trying to like sell me a pipe dream, and I'm like, and then I compared how I was eating then to how I eat now. I'm like, bro, I still look the same, like as far as like cut. So I'm like, I
mm-hmm.
literally didn't have to put that fake shit in my body.
Bruh. I don't know how a person be in Texas and be
Cauliflower
vegan.
chicken.
That's crazy.
Oh no, I
That's
think
just
also what
wild.
helped too. What also helped too with that is I was vegan. I was like for when I first moved out there, I was like 100% vegan, and then when I was like, I think my mom started teasing me with ribs, so I went half vegan, and then by the time I got back, I was not vegan.
Ooh.
Is
She's like, all right.
that little temptation? One little taste.
Yeah, she was
Got
One
like,
you.
little
yeah,
taste.
you're not
One little
you're
taste.
you're
She
not dedicated to this shit. Like I
she
refuse.
knew
And then she
exactly what
also
to
saw
do.
like, and she also saw like the budget. Like it's expensive as hell to be vegan. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm already spending over $100 on everyday groceries, and I'm not even vegan. Imagine if I was vegan, I'd be spending at least close to 200 with this inflation.
Yep.
So
Oh man.
Yeah.
nah.
Yeah, this inflation is crazy.
Speaking of inflation and subscriptions, Netflix, raw on Netflix. How we feeling 2 weeks in? Because this is the second week. We can start
Niggas,
with you, Randy.
niggas is overreact. I'm sorry for cussing, but people are
You
overreacting.
are good, brother. We already.
No, I know. Like Lala said yesterday. But it's like, nah, for real. But like, niggas is overreacting after that first one. I knew that first episode you were not gonna get, whatever you wanted because it's just all right. It's our first episode. We're trying to plant our flag. We're trying to, promote this and the third. Boom, boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I get that. Y'all niggas is dragging it. This week, I'm like, y'all can't complain because they didn't go over and they gave you a nice sweet spot, 2.5
Mm-hmm.
hours. So it's like, I enjoyed both episodes. I think this is a really good, start in terms of their Netflix deal and in terms of where it's going. Because after last night, including that first match, Raw is looking like that show again.
Jermaine.
I really think people like Randy was saying, I think people overreacted, but I also think that the overreaction could have been left up to their expectations also. So a lot of the times the overreaction could be a it could be a byproduct of people's expectations going in. So if you have these wild expectations going in, like some people thought that the first episode was going to be like a WrestleMania or like a Big Four pay-per-view or something like that. And then some people were like, well, the second one, well, if they got to do this or they got to do that. Like they're going into it with these expectations and then get disappointed when their expectations aren't met. So I just think that people need to temper their expectations and just watch what you see. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't.
I agree. I agree. Like
Personally, I
I
enjoyed it.
definitely,
I enjoyed
I
both
definitely
episodes for what they were.
enjoy. I enjoyed little bits of the first episode, and I enjoyed this episode a lot more than last week. And like I said on the enemies last week, I was like, if I was a casual, I would not come back because nothing hooked me from the first episode. But if I was a casual that stumbled on this episode, I'd be like, okay, I'm intrigued. Who's this Penta guy? What is next for like this Damian Priest cat is something serious. This Jey Uso guy, I thought he was just a yeet guy. He cut a bomb ass promo to convince you that he has a chance against Gunther. You saw Sheamus and Ludwig go to war for a shot at the Intercontinental Championship. You saw Braun Breaker looking Dominican as always. It's so many, so many bits and pieces that you got. Even a new Intercontinental Champion, a women's Intercontinental Champion. So many bits and pieces that you got on this show, and it's like it definitely hooked you in. If you want to keep coming back, because I even saw some people who was only there for the first episode still tweeting about it on this episode. So I'm like, they're clearly doing something right. So, and speaking of doing something right, Penta, I guess we might as well talk about, that was the first guy I mentioned. Penta is officially, I guess you could say WWE, because then they do Cody Rhodes is WWE, so I'm guessing Penta is WWE now. What was our thoughts on this, gentlemen? Besides the whack ass music.
Okay, so the whack ass music, it could have been worse. Let's just be honest. It could have been way worse. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. It was just kind of
I think Mikey Ruckus set the standard with Penta's music. That's probably why.
Definitely. Once you have a certain bar, you have to meet or exceed that bar every single time. And if you don't, then it's just going to continue to fall flat. And Def Rebel has, they've fallen flatter than a tabletop in a classroom. I mean, just like I don't know, but just generally overall speaking, I love the whole segment, the entrance, the him introducing his hand signs and everything to the new audience. A lot of people already knew who he was. The match with Gable was great, a banger, and I love the fact that he cut part of his promo in Spanish, and it was a brilliant idea to debut him in San Jose, on the West Coast, where you would have more support from the Mexican fan base, just to be honest with you, since Penta is Mexican. So I think the whole thing, the presentation, everything, it was great. It made him feel like a big deal. And despite people's misgivings about the leak of the merch online earlier that day, I still think that it went off great.
My thing is, it's 2025. If you don't want to be spoiled, get the fuck off Twitter.
It's that fucking simple. It's that simple.
Just get the fuck off Twitter.
They're not gonna listen.
They're not. I'm like, nigga.
They live to be miserable, man.
But what about you?
Listen, man. It was like outside the music. They need Jim Johnson back in the greatest of ways. But outside the music, man, it was a great person for Penta to basically have his first match against, and it's like, yo, who better than Chad Gable? They was hooping last night. They was, man. They didn't have to
Yes.
spoil it. They didn't have to spoil us like this to start off. But hey, who am I to complain for good graps?
Man, and it's like I hate that I'm numb to the destroyer now because when he hit that destroyer, even though Chad sold the hell out of it, I literally just like, okay.
At least he didn't spam it. It could
Yeah,
be
this is
worse.
true. This is true. This is true. But I definitely enjoyed this match. And then like let's talk about Chad Gable. This dude re-signed with WWE and he has been hooping left and right. But I still feel like at some point Triple H needs to reward this man and either with the Intercontinental title finally, or just like have him more. Honestly, I'm not even going to say give him the Intercontinental title for at least 6 months and just let him go with it. And I feel like he would definitely showcase because the Intercontinental title is the workhorse title, and who is a better workhorse right now than Jack Gable in the men's division? So,
Yeah,
and then Penta. He threw me off when he started speaking in English. I ain't even gonna hold you. I was just like, I literally, I was like, yo, this is throwing me off. Like, it's so fluid. I was expecting like him to like either be limited, even though he spoke English for like 30 seconds and then spoke in his native tongue. But I was just like, yo, this is actually mind blowing in a good way. So I definitely do. We feel like they finally found their next. I won't even say next Rey Mysterio. I would say their next luchador superstar. They go all in with it.
Oh, easy,
So
easy.
man.
There's, I mean, when you look at all the other guys that they brought in to try to be that next guy to try to take over that mantle from Rey Mysterio, none of them came in with the fanfare and the hoopla as Penta did.
True.
And if you also look back, how many of those guys had merch the day they debuted? And I mean nice merch from the day they debuted.
I would definitely wear that. I ain't gonna hold you. Like if these bills wasn't whooping my ass more
Look.
than a little some bitch, I would definitely get that mask.
Man, look, I have already been thinking about this for like 2 years now. And the day that made me want a Penta mask was October 15th, 2022. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go look it up. That's when he was at Triple Mania down in AAA. And he main evented and he retired Viano 4 and took his mask. And the most epic photo in wrestling history was taken after that match. And you could go argue with a wall if you want to, but ain't nobody moving me off my pivot. That is the coldest pick in wrestling history. And that pick and that match and that all of that, right? That I was like, yes. In like learning, shout out to the homie Keeks, matter of fact, because she hit me to a lot of lucha libre, like history, culture, and different stuff like that. Stuff that I didn't really know. I was kind of aware of them. But anyway, that day, that match, and the history behind what it means to do that in Mexico made me want a Penta mask. Yes.
Yep. That
Yes.
I remember us talking about that. I forgot what episode number it was, but we definitely talked about this. I was like, bro, this is one of the like this is a guy that if I see him staring at me, I will be like, you know what? I apologize. I don't know what I did, but I apologize. Like I will apologize for my outburst before I even outburst. That's how that's how terrified I was when I saw that. I was like, this is some good shit though.
Yeah. I mean, that was just a dope pick, and that whole the match, the ceremony, and everything just it was unreal. Like I swear I watched that match like 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Like the whole thing, entrances, the ending, everything. Because it's a thing. Like, and when you're really into pro wrestling and you really love pro wrestling, you're not on this tribalistic BS that most people be on, and you have a variety of a taste and flavor for different things, you'll learn to appreciate things like that.
Oh yeah, like like I guess the last thing we could say about this is like basically if you enjoy wrestling without without accepting the or looking for the acceptance of other people online, you will
Mhm.
your fandom will last so long. That's why my fandom has last so long, because if I cared 100% about other people's opinions, I would have been stopped watching when Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff was in TNA, because I was done.
Oh.
Like after 2011, I was like, yeah, I'm done with this shit. I don't even know how I lasted this long. So, but speaking of matches that didn't last long, Lyra Valkyria is now the new Intercontinental Champion. Is a mixed reaction online. Some people was pulling for Dakota Kai, word to the enemies podcast, and everybody who supports that movement, as well as some people was pulling for the Bird Lady agenda. Shout out Ben. Uh, but what's our thoughts on this match? Because I feel like like they came out the box hot with this one.
They did. Like I was hoping that it was gonna be last week that they did the match, but I understand why they did it for this week, and they showed out. Like I was happy to see Coda finally get an opportunity at a championship, whether she won or lost. The
Mhm.
fact that she's healthy enough at this point in her career to probably pursue it, and the fact that she can go through that match, it gives me hope that she can contend for it down the line and possibly win it. But other than that, I know they're giving it to Lyra because of the fact that they see her as like a Becky Lynch replacement when Becky eventually becomes, you know, you know, when she starts getting away from the main from the main roster or that main event scene.
Mhm.
She's next up. She's very young, so like they're basically preparing for the future while they still got the present.
Like one thing I did, when I after seeing this match, I was like, who can they shape this middle card division around Lyra to challenge? Obviously, you're gonna have Dakota trying to get it back or get that win back. Like I guess you could say Pure Fusion Collective, or as some people on Twitter says, the Scissor Sisters.
Stud control.
Stop patrol.
Stud
Stud
Control,
control.
Stud Control, the Scissor Sisters I saw,
I blame Mia Yim for that.
the Stud Line. But do we seeing as they're now on Netflix, do we see them kind of like giving them more time to develop stories? Because I feel like I know a lot of people wasn't really feeling the whole cinematic vibes with Roman and what they were doing with the bloodline with Roman and Cody and Roman and Punk. I feel like they can do that here. They're on Netflix. It makes sense. They can do like if they don't have time on the main show, they can easily say, "Hey, go to this secondary show or this post show," and then they can continue cinematic setups to kind of, I guess you could say, world build, if you will, to kind of get people invested into
Mhm.
these people. Like I feel like there's potential with the stud line. Let me say their real name. There's potential with Pure Fusion Collective if they give us a reason to care, as well as everybody else. So, like, because let's be real, you have Shayna Baszler in there. That like, if they put the
Mhm.
ball behind her, she can easily be a threat in that Intercontinental division. Uh, Zoe Stark, always, she has one of the coldest finishers in the game. Met her in Detroit at SummerSlam 23. Sweet, sweet lady. So it's like it's so many people, like little pieces that they can do. It's all up to Triple H to actually put them into place and actually make the consumer care.
Yeah. See, the thing is, one thing that I tend to look at when they're making certain booking decisions and they're trying to pick who might win what title or so on and so forth, they may have different reasons behind different uh, booking decisions. But one thing that I thought about with Lyra Valkyria that I kept remembering, she's a full 8 years younger than Dakota Kai. So she's seen as one of the building blocks of the future of that women's division. Dakota Kai is seen as a good hand, somebody that we can use right now, not necessarily somebody that we can build this women's division around moving forward. So yes, she's a lovable character and everything. You want her to have her moment. However, would you rather have her moment being the inaugural women's intercontinental champion on the second Netflix episode of Monday Night Raw, or would you like to see her win that title on a pay-per-view?
Mm.
So, I mean, it's not to say that she won't win it, and yes, being the first means something. However, wouldn't it be a bigger payoff if she has that big moment on a pay-per-view as opposed to just being known as the first? I mean, I know that has a lot of historical significance, but I'm talking about the moment itself.
I can see it. Like that would make sense. But I feel like, to, I guess you could say, play devil's advocate, I can understand why they put it on Netflix, because it's still a little buzz there from the first episode. So they're like, more people are still going to be watching regardless. So they're going to have eyes on this show. So, hey, let's have this happen here. And then hopefully they follow up next week and they build a challenger for, what is that, Saturday night's main event, and have more people, because that's going to have a lot of eyes too, because it's on NBC and people still watch. A lot of households still watch NBC. So, you're going to have more people watch it through there. So it's a lot of ways they can go with what you're saying. So that's like, now I understand. I can see why they did what they did, even though I would have preferred that they did it like on a I wouldn't say a Royal Rumble, Saturday night's main event, because Royal Rumble, I feel like they want to keep that focused on the men and women's matches more specifically, and probably 2 matches in the middle, because Triple H left his 4-match card.
So, I mean, would you rather have 4 or would you rather have 12 and stay up till 1?
You're right.
Like, it's like, yo, it's like, I'm gonna give it as 4, but these 4 gonna slap. But at the same time, if I give you 12, like, are you gonna stay up to watch the 12?
No, me? No, I'm going to fucking sleep. Like, that's why I ain't really paid for the 50 in a while, because I'm like, I'm not staying up the entire time.
I always use my
yeah,
my,
I understand.
extracurricular means.
I understand. You go pirate like SpongeBob. Arr, arr,
Arr.
arr. But
Bruh,
gotta cut corners, baby. Gotta cut corners.
Wait. As soon as you said that, the only thing I could think about was that little pirate from the beginning of the SpongeBob song.
Arr. I can't hear you.
Oh
man. Oh man. Speaking of mask and pirates and figures, Wyatt Six is apparently now on SmackDown, and a lot of people are considering that as I guess you could say, a final nail in the coffin, because I feel like they're hitting in that territory that a lot of us was kind of worried about when it first started, because start off hot and then
you don't know how to book something like that, and something like that needs to be booked as an attraction.
Yeah,
which means they need to be spooky, mysterious, and win when they do wrestle. At least have a smudge finish where they don't look bad or something.
Oh yeah, because then they lose straight up to.
That's what I'm saying.
The final testament.
You can't have them coming out looking like that and then lose.
Yeah,
it's easier for you to put the Wyatt Six over in that match and have the New Testament have some internal beef and struggle and get themselves together, because you can see that play out with them week to week.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to see the Wyatt Six every single week and have character arcs play out with infighting because they lost. It doesn't even fit them and make sense. So I'm just saying, to me, this is a more of a booking decision than they didn't do what they needed to do to get themselves over type of thing.
Oh yeah, because people still like pop when they come out, but it's just more so like you don't really. I feel like they're running into that same territory that they did with the Fiend. They're humanizing an attraction. Bray Wyatt should have been on TV, struggling mentally to keep the Fiend under control. They started off hot with Bo Dallas struggling to keep Uncle Howdy under control. But then now he's coming out here with his ugly ass wig where he hits the spider walk and you see his real hair. And I'm like, brother, you go to the Halloween store, they have Ray spray, temporary spray. You can spray in your hair for every time you go out there. It doesn't damage your hair. And it looks natural. You don't look goofy. Like it's a lot of pieces that make you check out or make me check out. I only speak for myself. I make me check out till I'm like, yeah, might be time to wrap this up.
And see, it bothers me so much because this storyline has so much potential when you introduce the real person behind the character and you use some real life stuff to blend in with that character and that person and everything, and you kind of blend in work shoot. Like that draws people in, and then you got the little spooky mysterious thing going still. Like there was so much potential with that, and you just pissed it all away. They can get it back though. I believe that there's a path to get it back. I don't think it's just dead in the water, and I think that's what my biggest thing about all of this is that people are acting like this is just they're just dead in the water. I think that this could be, like you said, Josh, this was, some people saw it as the proverbial nail in the coffin. What if this was the nail in the coffin and then Kane set Undertaker's coffin on fire, but then Taker comes back out of the burning casket to get his revenge? I'm just saying.
I like that.
There's so many ways they can go with this, because especially SmackDown being 3 hours at least into, according to Triple H, until the summer. 3 hours, like you can literally, I'm not saying make the whole show spooky, but you can actually, like, one thing I can tell that they did, I feel like they did right, was they humanized them a little bit, like you said, because they didn't go the supernatural route where they were indestructible, and that's where a lot of people was losing. They lost. They was losing people with the Fiend because he was invincible. Literally, this man was no selling stomps and Busaiku knees, and you like, all right, bro. Like, you know how I am with takeover matches with all the kickouts. That's the reason why I can't stand Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole, best 2 out of 3 falls, because all those damn kickouts. Because I can take 5 kickouts. When it becomes 20 kickouts, that's when I'm be like, all right, wrap this shit the fuck up.
It's the multiple kickouts after finishers and multiple signature moves and stuff. That's the part that kills me. And
so they did lose dirty. Okay, so they didn't lose clean. Okay,
Y'all said it, not me.
No. There was some shenanigans, but still, it was just like they lost and then nothing happened.
Yeah. There was a gap, because I feel like you said, they should have won, and Cross should have went on like a little tailspin, like what the hell happened? We had these guys beat. We had these guys then like go on a spiral, like he could torture the Miz because the Miz set this up. He can try to slap some sense into AOP and say, okay, to make do, go after the tag team titles. Like, there's so many directions you can go with this inner turmoil, and then you can have the Wyatt Six as an attraction in the background, like, yo, what are we doing? Like, oh, did we do this?
Yeah.
Oh, like, the head tilt, like, yeah. So I don't see it as a nail in the coffin. I just see, like, hopefully they have a direction for them and not just have them say, hey, we just moved into SmackDown just because. Because I see some people saying the Judgment Day might move to SmackDown. They might see them feuding. or they might go after the new bloodline. Solo Sikoa turned on his family, so you know the whole mo of betraying your family. So I'm like,
Mm,
that could be Solo's next direction because
yeah,
Solo
that
Sikoa is
that
supposed
would
to return.
yeah, that would be interesting. I would also like to see them. I would really like to see them like when they introduce them. It could be funny, spooky, a poke at it, whatever. But like they should come to SmackDown through like a spooky Wyatt Six type transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
Like it should be like so I don't know. They should just like a all the lights go out and then the transfer portal opens. Then the
Oh
Wyatt
yeah,
Six comes out
the
and they
door
confront
open.
Solo while yeah, then while he's like in the ring, cut the promo about why he should be the real tribal chief or whatever. And then I think that's how they should introduce that whole storyline. That would be dope.
I like that. That's not bad. I mess with that. Like,
I mean, do
Yeah.
something, but I like Josh's idea of using that as a direction to give both of those characters and storylines and groups, factions or whatever, a direction.
they
And
need a shot in the
that's
arm.
right. That's something that both of those factions and characters and storylines could actually use each other to help build each other back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking
And
of
if you book
storyline,
it,
you
you
said what?
got it.
You
If you
got it.
book it right, man, you got something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fact.
Speaking of booking and Judgment Day and factions, Dom don't know that he's in trouble.
When is he not in trouble?
The dude said, I don't think she said she's not mad. And every dude at the home at the crib was like, God damn it, she's upset, brother. Run.
Run. Yeah.
She is pissed.
Like, brother, you tried to hug her biggest op in 4K. And how I know it's 4K? Because Netflix has been streaming in 4K.
Yeah, the camera work has been impeccable, and I wear glasses.
He said, I wear glasses, God damn it.
I wear bifocals and all, man.
Hey man, look
Like,
here.
brother, come on.
Yeah.
Hey, but I really think like he's playing this character very well. But I also think that this little riff with him and Liv and then the guys making fun of him and everything can also be something to turn Dom into a more dastardly heel. It could be something where he gets pissed off and upset and then he turns on them without them turning face, but him just turning more of a heel. Or they could go the whole, babyface route and redeeming character arc, thing with him. But eventually, like something has to pay off because you don't have a rift or lovers quarrel and it doesn't pay off in some sort of blow off or something like that. That's just wrestling 101, typically how it's been done. Now, if they patch things up and move along, they could very well, book the storyline like that. But I just think that like there's a few different directions that they can go in with this storyline that would be interesting to the fans to keep it moving forward. Even though I know some people are sick of it, there's still some things that they can do to pull some interesting storylines and stuff out of it.
Oh yeah, this group has been in downgrade since they got rid of the stars of the group. So
It has. I still think that there's some things that they can pull out of it. I just don't think that without Liv having the title and then feuding with Rhea and then the whole Priest Finn story kind of coming to an end last night with that match and Priest win over them and overcoming the odds and everything, kind of putting that to bed. Like I think it's time for them to move on to the next thing with the Judgment Day. And so here's where you have something where you can at least keep them somewhat interesting, where you have the Liv and Dom thing, and then you have the Finn and Liv thing. There's some stuff there that you can do to still cook with Judgment Day.
yeah,
I look at it twofold because it's like Finn has been itching to like basically dip from the Judgment Day ever since his beef with Damien basically started, and he's been gaslighting everybody low key ever since, including Liv, Dom especially. So it's like, all right, bet. Like, Damien want to think that, okay, cool. Like, he stopped me from being champion. I'm gonna make sure that he never gets it. Bet. This, that, and the third. So now I'm tired of these people. Carlito, what do you do? JD, your head is like a 5-gallon hat. like, what are you guys doing here? Like, I can destroy this from within and just basically go back to being solo. I'm like, nah. If I'm Finn, I'm like, nah, I'm deading everybody. I'm going back to Broadway Finn, NXT, the second version. Like, I'm kicking it out. Like,
the Prince.
this is my time to shine. Like, y'all holding me back. I did this for y'all for a favor. Nah, man.
I feel like they should do a nod to his heel turn in the second incarnation of NXT, where they have like they tease a riff with the Wyatts, and he pull out that smooth Pele kick again, but this time either on Dom or JD.
Ooh.
And then just walk off. or whoop whoever ass, and then that's what I'm saying, like like a coup de grace, pun intended, to his time in the Judgment Day. Yeah. Like, just because I still go back to that Pele kick from time to time, like the smoothness of it. Like, he took the jacket off and then just like, I'm like, God damn.
Hey,
you ain't see it coming.
No, it like, bruh, and like the initial motion looked like he was going across the ring.
Mm-hmm.
He took that step forward so he could throw that kick backwards. Brother, shit, man.
That's the Finn I want to see.
I need to go back and watch that damn episode. Like,
that's the Finn that I've been waiting on for a while now. Like, if I can get that Finn back, Trips, all right, man. Listen, I'll give it to you.
But I forgive you for having him lose.
Either that Finn.
I forgive for Edge.
Oh, well, I'm not. I'll put it to you like this: had he not had to get the staples in the middle of that match had a little more potential. I think the whole staples in the middle of the match thing, when he got busted up, I think that kind of. But anyway, I think. Yeah. I still think he should have won. I just think that they could have pivoted at that moment and done something different with that match, given that they had that time in between or whatever. Like, that could have been the time to use the little spooky lights go out, demon thing. You know what I'm saying?
You want him to hunch the floor again? You remember that shit? Extreme Rules. What was it, 2022, 2021? That man said, doom, 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 doom.
Bro, I'm so back up.
Like a guppy fish.
He did all that and lost because the ring rope broke.
Bro, I remember that. Yeah,
like, come on, man. I want to know. I want to know who's the producer for that match.
That hurt.
I want to know who do I hold responsible. Road dog bullshit on my TV.
When in doubt, blame the dog that goes on the road. Road dog.
Road dog, Jesse James. I'm blaming him.
It is always his fault. If it's not his fault, it is his fault. Like, there's no one else's fault. It's just his fault.
I would never blame Hurricane Helms. I'll never blame him.
You got Michael Hayes, Hurricane Helms, Jason Jordan, Tyson Kidd.
Never them. Never.
Nah, it's always Road Dog.
The Indian dude, I forgot his name.
Davari.
Abyss. Bro, like, you got a bunch of people back there that you can blame.
Oh my god,
bro! He was literally the classroom fish. He was literally the classroom fish that somebody dropped out of the water when you cleaning the tank, and the fish just be like,
"Yeah." That's exactly how it went. Like, I try to block that memory. I try to block that out, but it happened.
it was such a meme. Like, it was a meme when it happened because nobody. It was like, bro, this makes no fucking sense. Why are you doing this? And then it was around a time where regular Finn was getting bitched out, and then the demon was OP, so it was no balance whatsoever. But man, hopefully,
oh my
hopefully
God,
they go in a decent direction to make do with him losing like this,
yeah,
like for real. So
Yeah. Let's just hope that they find a way to tie up any loose ends and move these stories in a different direction that benefits everybody. Because you have like I said, you still have a little bit of meat left on the bone. Like this looks like a chicken wing from a kid's plate that they don't know how to eat a chicken wing. Like there's
yeah.
still some meat left on that bone that you can
Hey,
eat.
hey, don't get up from this table until you eat all the meat.
You better
All
clean that
right,
chicken bone.
clean the
Clean
chicken
that
bone.
chicken
Right?
bone.
Clean the goddamn. See, this how you do it. Now do it. You know, do it. Don't you go down there and play that game now. You better finish that chicken. Finish that goddamn chicken.
I don't care if you fall asleep at this table. You don't finish that plate.
You gonna finish that play, or I will go unplug that game, and you ain't gonna play that game all week. Finish that meat. Finish.
I work too goddamn hard to put food on this table.
I was laid on this goddamn soul for you to half-ass eat my chicken. You better eat that goddamn chicken, boy. What's wrong with you?
Hey, confession. Honestly, this was almost me last night. I swear.
Another confession. This is me. This is me with my siblings. Like I'm related to some picky eaters, and I'll be like, but I don't be like that dramatic. I'll be so calm when I'm like, so you gonna leave that food on that plate? You gonna leave that food on that plate? That's what you gonna do? Finish that goddamn food.
Man, I'm so glad we're not like that. Like we from South Louisiana, so we eat a little bit of everything. And then my sister did some studying abroad in Japan and stuff, so she got a whole different expanded palate and whatnot. Like, bruh, nah, we don't have the problems over here.
Oh man, speaking of problems, Rhea Ripley got new problems now that she's done with Liv. She's dealing with Nia Jackson, according to Nia, BBL baby.
Ooh.
Even though, I've seen her with gym workouts.
Man, the thighs match.
Yes.
That is not a BBL. That is
Mm-mm.
that is 100% she got it from her mama.
That's big, bold, luscious Bailey.
Yes. Trust me, she got it from her mama.
That's the only BBL we talk about. Big, bold, and luscious.
Arroz en con pollo, you know.
Man. Because look here.
Look here, listen.
She was talking all that shit about Bailey, but I was like, God damn, I look goddamn good in that leopard print.
Yeah, it's like Thanksgiving dinner again.
I'm ready to pounce. And she kind of like had whipped a little ponytail like Bianca a little bit. I was like,
Good Lord is my shepherd. He know what I want.
I'm about to become Monty Brown in this piece.
Hey man, look, I never really paid any attention to TNA. No joke, until like the last couple years or so maybe. So there's a TNA channel on my Roku TV that plays nothing but old TNA episodes and pay-per-views and whatnot. And I've been watching that consistently over the last couple of months, every so often.
Yep.
But I've gotten reacquainted with a lot of old TNA stuff. Bruh, that Monty Brown was a goddamn fool. He was a damn fool.
The
pounds. What? The pounds. The pounds. Man. He said, "Do you know Booker?"
Listen, TNA has some of the most iconic comedic moments of all time, and like half of them came from Booker and Scott Steiner.
Bruh.
Booker, Scott
Bruh.
Steiner, and Monty Bryan. If I had all three of those in the same vicinity
I
at
need
the
to click.
same time, I would, and R-Truth, I would die.
You know what I really wish, the thing where people talk about WWE fumbled this and fumbled that. The one thing that I really know that they fumbled was Stokely Hathaway.
Bruh.
Yeah, they did.
I needed a Stokely R-Truth collaboration on something for at least 5 to 7 good minutes. That would have just made my life, and I could just die a happy man after that.
Well, apparently AEW is fumbling him too, because where the fuck is he?
Exactly.
They did that shit with Chris, and then he dipped. Well, he's teasing that shit with Private Party, and then he got snatched to the back, and then that was it.
What is that
Only
man
thing
doing,
I'm hoping,
man?
only thing I'm hoping is like he working on something outside of AEW and ask for some time off or something. Maybe I have no idea, but that's what I'm hoping for, and I hope they find a re-entry point for him to reintroduce him into storylines, because that brother is talented,
Too talented.
highly entertaining.
That he is.
Last little bit on Raw, that we mentioned Damian Priest and Finn Balor. The only gripe I got with this match is I wish we got that shit in Atlanta for Bad Blood.
I wanted that one too. Yeah.
I'm like, bruh, you should have gave me this
Atlanta.
in October. Because
Bro,
the match in October wasn't bad, but this was better.
I put it like this in sports terms, that one in October was like a game 1, maybe a game 2.
Mhm.
This was like a game
Yeah.
7. This was a game 7.
You can tell that it was like, yo, this is the last bit of the feud. Let's go out.
All out.
You know, and like like there's certain times when you can see certain matches the way they're put together. Like, I don't think like this is going to be the end of this. Perfect example, that same Raw last week, the ending of that Punk Seth match.
That's not
You know, it was similar to the 21 or 22 match he had with Moxley in AEW. The 21 match with Moxley in AEW, the exact same finish. But I just think that the way they worked through that match and the ending of that match, it gave it some finality, and it was like, okay, this is it. We're moving on from here, and you can just tell. And I think they did that, the ending of that feud and that whole storyline, a great service, because that was a banger of a match.
Yeah. Also shows their depth too.
Yeah.
Like Raw has a deep men's roster. Like I thought of it last night. I'm like, wait a minute. Like with Penta here now, and like with Raw finally getting some bodies back healthy outside of Bronson Reed, like they got a stacked roster. You can put anybody between the Intercontinental Championship scene or the World Heavyweight Championship scene, and then stars who really don't need the title. You can still create, great angles and stories for them. So it's just like, like they're a really deep roster where they can just do whatever with them. I just hope that, with the spacing and time that they've been doing it, that they can, get everybody to do what they need to do.
I agree. I definitely agree. I guess a little bit of SmackDown. We got Tiffany Stratton versus Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. The WWE Women's Championship on Friday. How we see this going? Is this going to be just another standard TV match, or we see something growing from this?
I think we may see like this is the growth of something, because this can't be the first title defense and then she loses. Yeah, although we have seen them do that to Sasha Banks, others before. I just don't think that they would start off her first title reign that way with a one and done.
Nah, I think with Bayley, if they have plans for Bayley coming up, I do think that she's gonna do what she's been doing over the last 2.5 years, being the vet, and like, all right, I'm just gonna let Tiffy have her moment, and then whatever, if she is going to move to Raw or this, that, or third, like Bailey is at a position right now where she can basically do whatever and is flexible in any role. Like she can be the champion if she wants to. She can pursue a mid card title if she wants to, or mix it up with Chelsea Green if she wants to. She can go to Raw. She can go to NXT. Like she can do anything she wants to at this point because she's basically done it all. But at the same time, like if they want to put her in a spot, I'm guessing they will when they want to. But right now, you're prioritizing Liv Liv Morgan or Rhea Ripley on Raw, and now Nia Jax, who might make the move. And then of course you got Tiffany Stratton, who's basically got the rocket strapped to her back because now they're basically pushing her to be, the next youth talent, from that crop, from the Roxanne crop and where she's at right now. So I think in terms of what for that match on Friday, it's gonna be a regular TV match, and basically is gonna do what vets do and put her over.
Sure. Like I agree. Like I have nothing to add to that. For sure. Looking at my notes because it's a short episode, but and we pretty much tackle majority of everything in some way, shape, or form. So we can switch to the misc side of thing. Per Fightful Select, Darby Allin will be out for the foreseeable future to climb Mount Everest.
Hey, like the old people say, that boy touched.
Yeah.
That's all I do. I have nothing further. I bequeath my time.
Like as a person that was raised on Catholic school, I would say in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Because that boy ain't gonna come back alive.
Brother, you can bathe him in holy water. It ain't gonna be enough.
It ain't gonna
You
be
can
enough,
bathe that man in
man.
holy water. The Holy Spirit gonna be like, yeah, I can't do nothing for this.
Yeah,
This ain't got nothing to do with me. Yeah, I got this.
You on your own, player.
You on
You
your
on your
own,
own, player.
I'm good.
My man's got hit by a New York City bus and showed up to work the very next day.
This man literally almost decapitating himself running into a truck at full gear, literally bleeding down his face.
He willingly flipped off the top of a 10-foot ladder into a pane of glass that was like an inch thick.
Yeah.
You might think an inch thick ain't nothing. But when we talking an inch thick of glass,
when it cuts,
I've had an inch thick. I've had an inch thick fall on my toe. The shit hurt. So he put his whole body through it.
Brother.
Real glass.
How you see why I said that?
Real glass.
Yeah, that boy got a wish. Like he got a wish, and it ain't a good one. I wish him well.
One wish. Oh God!
Next minute, you know you gonna hear Minister Al Green. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
And then they gonna drop the volume a little bit, and then Caprice Coleman gonna come over. Brothers and sisters, as we pass around this collection plate, I want you to think of our fellow wrestlers who are sick and shut in right now.
Ashes to ashes.
Oh man.
God.
Oh my God. Hey, Darby, good luck.
Get back soon.
Get back, I guess, because I'm guessing you were supposed to win or at least be
nigga, just get back.
Win the world title, but you don't care about that. So just get back, nigga. Just survive.
Just get back.
He needs somebody to go with him.
I feel like Mount Everest is about to
Shit.
turn into Taz. Beat me if you can. Survive if I let you.
Oh my god.
Hey, yo. Hey, man.
Oh my god. Speaking of
Said the Mount
surviving,
Everest.
Malachi Black is apparently done in AEW, and a lot. The original question was what's next for House of Black, but I'm guessing now is I'm guessing AEW starting the smear campaign allegedly.
Wash, rinse, repeat.
My thing. Do we feel like with Malachi Black? How do we feel about his run in AEW? Injury aside, because I believe he had a back injury like what's 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So how do we feel?
I think he had a
He-
couple.
He had
of them.
one
He
back
had a couple of
injury.
them. Maybe
He had a leg
He
one
had
too.
like a couple
Okay,
of
okay.
minor injuries as well, but
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, a couple other ones. Okay, but like, I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of it was underwhelming because I wanted to see him go for or at least maybe hold a singles title at some point, and he never did. It was a lot of tag and trio stuff. We got very little, hardly any single stuff, and it was very underwhelming. And so I just think that he wanted something different for himself and chose to go to AEW. And then when he got over there and realized it wasn't what it was, he was like, I need to get back.
it's not even that. He was released.
He was released.
Before he was starting a feud with Big E.
Oh,
Like
that's
they really
right.
did
Because
with the
he was
Dark Father, and then he returned with no music,
That's
hit the black pass on Big E, and then like a week and a half later, hey, he's fired. I'm like,
he was gone.
He was part of those budget
right,
cuts for
you're
Janelle
right.
Grant.
Yeah.
He was part of those budget cuts. He was part of the that lump sum that Vince kind of put aside for one of his alleged
Vince was just a fucking
mistresses. It really is. So
idiot. Vince is a fucking
him and Adam Cole were part of that. Like, had Adam Cole waited about 6 months, when
But I feel like if Adam Cole would have waited, the entire Undisputed Era minus Bobby Fish would have waited. If Malachi Black would have waited, if Keith Lee would have waited, even though none of these people these two didn't have their choice with their release because they was released. I feel like if Triple H was booking, if Triple H was in charge of the main roster when they was there, they would have definitely been around for a good minute.
Trips tried everything and then some just to keep Adam Cole. Adam Cole even damn near gave him a heart attack, bro.
But nah, Malachi Black, if he does return to WWE, do we feel like he needs to have his NXT version?
Yes. I need that thing.
Hell
I don't
yeah.
trust, listen, I don't trust whatever
Brother.
the motherfuckers might make.
Hell yeah. And the same entrance, everything. Like the whole 9 yards. Run that shit back. Run all that shit back. Like if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Bro, I've been saying that. Like I mentioned Pence's music, they changed Dakota Kai's music too.
That was unnecessary too.
But
even though I can't judge it. I need to hear the full version because it sounds like it's a bop, but I can't hear it. No,
Pence's?
both really.
Dakota's? Both? Oh yeah, well, yeah. I kind of listened back to Penta's, like, but it was like 2, 3, 4 in the morning. And I'm laying in the bed, can't sleep, fighting insomnia or whatever. And I listened to it, I was watching it back. But I still couldn't really get a beat. It was like, okay, I can hear it a little bit better.
The guitar riff.
Right, but it's like I think what you said, like I just need to hear it.
Yeah, I need a studio version. Like I need them to release it as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's
why I'm gonna start doing
like,
going from now on. Whenever I hear the music, I'm like, I'm not finna say this shit. It's ass. I'm like, I need the studio version immediately before I judge.
Yeah.
But Aleister Black, you go back to WWE,
start hooping.
Like just start hooping, please. And I guess two outside of things before we get to our betting odds, because usually here for those who are new around here, we do betting odds to where we look at the current standings for like upcoming Saturday night's main event next week, as well as the Royal Rumble, which is the week after. So we got all that to pretty much like how we feeling with the current standings. But the last bit, we got Odyssey Jones. Remember Odyssey Jones? He finally broke his silence following his release and lightly addressed the DV for YouTube, but for audio format, domestic violence allegations from his former partner. And he stands with his innocence. And upon further, because I believe it was released via the Post. If did y'all see that earlier?
It was, I can't remember who.
I think it was V.
It was
I think
attributed
V
to.
posted it. It was Post Wrestling on Twitter, reporting by Brandon Thurston from WrestleNomics, where it says court records indicate former WWE wrestler Odyssey Jones, real name Omari Palmer, was granted an order of protection against his former partner in September 2024, shortly after reports emerged of his release from WWE, indicating that in layman's terms, she was allegedly lying about being abused. And people immediately, when they saw domestic violence, they immediately assumed he was the aggressor. And apparently, according to court records, he was the victim.
And here's the thing. Now, she, or whoever the partner was could have called the cops on him, and especially if it was a female. She calls the cops on him after an altercation. I want to say standard operating procedure, they're 9 times out of 10 probably at least going to cuff you or something at the scene, figure out what's going on and go from there. It's never good for a man in the eyes of the law when a woman calls the cops on you. So you automatically guilty until proven innocent.
Or according to Twitter,
Now,
you're guilty until proven guilty.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's just trash.
It is, man, and it's so messed up that it could have been a situation where, you know, she was the aggressor and he was just trying to defend himself, and because he's 350 pounds, it's gonna take. So I just hope that comes out, whatever the truth is, it comes out, and whoever deserves what they deserve, they get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like the crazy part about it is like my girl, she's a DV cop, and it's like I learned a lot about like because there are times she'll tell me about certain cases, and she'll be like, "All right, she had to arrest the dude, even though the dude did not strike her. She was the aggressor because clearly you could see everything on him, but because she made the phone call and said he did X and such and such." He's the one who's gonna get arrested. He's gonna get processed. It's just when it's in the court's hands, the court of opinion is gonna do whatever they gotta do, and then you know how the system is. So it's like it's messed up. They got caught up in that, and it's unfortunate.
The court
that
system is so backwards. It's like even if I'm the victim, I get arrested like the aggressor by default.
I mean, we got
You have to prove beyond the shadow of a doubt that something was done to you as the victim.
All right.
And if you're the aggressor, you have to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that you did nothing wrong. And it's basically the way it's set up is set up for, you know, the bigger, stronger, more dominant looking person is always going to get the rap sheet, and the smaller, more demure, you know, lesser person is going to be the one that they're going to look at as, okay, this must be the victim. And that's not always necessarily the case, and that could be what we're seeing play out in his case right here.
Yeah, so we won't touch too much more until we know more. But yeah, I just wanted to, because I believe we talked about it on this show when the allegations came out. And I'll be honest with you, I immediately assumed he was the aggressor. And for my part on that, I can openly apologize to that, especially as more comes out. Because by default, you're going to assume that it's the man, but then because of first impression, as far as what you read first. But as time goes on, once you see that, you're like, okay, I fucked up. My bad. I need to stop jumping to conclusions, and that's what a lot of us need to do. Just stop jumping to conclusions. Wait till stuff come out,
Let it play
and
out.
you can address it without giving your personal opinion, and go from there.
Yeah, you're right.
Little bit. This what you about to say?
No, I was like, when the news came out, like I pretty much left it alone. Like me and our group, like we was like, I'm not gonna touch it until more comes out because we don't know exactly what happened. It's like allegations came out, he just got fired, and it just went quiet ever since.
Yeah,
So it's like,
I think we talked about it because we was pretty much predicting the direction of the New Day at the time. So it was like, well, I guess we got to address it because it literally went left after us making it a big deal. Like, oh, what if Kofi Kingston and Odyssey Jones turn heel on Xavier Woods?
Right.
Type beat. So it's
and,
like we made it a whole big deal, and then that happened. It was like, fuck.
now Kofi looks like a warlord.
Now Kofi's like a
Bruh.
warlord with that. Like nigga, like he want to sell me bootleg DVDs.
Kofi looked like he wear black pants and white dress shoes.
Oh my god.
That's high feature.
And word to JT over at Marks with Mikes, he definitely do want he do definitely look like he want to say, "Don't you know no good?"
Oh, that's crazy. Don't you know no good?
Bro, when he posted the side by side, bro, I cried laughing that night.
Yeah, you should.
I damn near dropped my phone, bro.
Like, oh my god.
Mark said shit.
Oh shit. Oh man. Last little bit, this one I thought would be kind of interesting, like a conversation that I saw on Twitter earlier. Jeff Hardy. He said he could have been bigger than John Cena had he had his life together in his 20s and 30s. To go around the table, I guess we can all chime on it. I guess I'll go first with this one. I kind of call Cat. And the reason why I say that is because yes, John Cena was big. Jeff Hardy, was big in 2008. Like, he was practically up there as big as Obama. And I know a lot of people like to say that, but he definitely was in WWE terms. Like, that man was one of the top merch movers. He was like the talk of the town. You go to school in 2008 or you go to work, people was talking about Jeff Hardy jumping off the Tron on Randy Orton. Like, this dude was a big deal. His personal demons took over because I believe it was reported that he was supposed to win the Money in the Bank in 2008 and cash in later that night on Randy Orton as like a revenge for the Royal Rumble, but he got suspended. And then it's like every time they wanted to put the ball behind him, his personal demons got in control. So it was like, But if I had to like really look at this, like the dynamic, John Cena, Jeff Hardy couldn't cut a promo to save his life. So a lot of people, so I feel like that's where the line would have been drawn if he had his life in order. Because when they look at it, WWE wise, now if another company was as big as WWE, they probably wouldn't care. Like if AEW was around when Jeff Hardy was at his peak, I feel like they probably wouldn't give a shit about his promos. But WWE cares about promos because they want you to do the press conferences. They want you to do the press tours. They want you to be able to basically be fluid. Like if John Cena wanted to, he can literally end your entire career if he wanted to be a dick that day. You saw what he did to Austin Theory. Nigga ain't been the same since. So it's like Jeff Hardy, would he have been up there with John Cena? Yes.
Yeah.
He would have. In my opinion, he's still technically up there with John Cena, but I feel like his drug and alcohol and arrests has been always the vocal point, and people just be like, I'm tired. So if he would have gotten, if he would have had his life in order or would have got his life in control early, he definitely would have been up there with John Cena. But I feel like John Cena still would have been above him. Randy, you got any thoughts on this?
I agree. Like Jeff knows why he wasn't up there. Like, come on now. Like, I know Jeff is saying that now in terms of retrospect because he sees his career like kind of has some regrets. But like, come on now, you know exactly why you're not at that level. Like, or that you feel like Jeff Hardy will always get universal love, like in the wrestling realm because of who he is and what he rocks to, and how us fans, feel when he's out there doing his stuff. But like you said before, like Jeff's demons were a major culprit in terms of why he wasn't able to like showcase more of that. Like you could have basically been, a lower tier version of what Sean was, in that generation while Sean was still there. Like had you got your shit together, but
they tried to do a couple of like wins over Sean. It's like a little subtle passing of the torch, but life kept happening.
Like your demons just kept getting in the way constantly. So it's just like at some point, like I'm glad like he's at a place where he's taking accountability for his past now. But to kind of say that is like you know what's gonna come with you saying this. It's like, bruh, like we all seen it. It's just the fact that you just kept getting in your way, and it happens.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here because I think that he was correct. He could have been. I won't say big. He could have been bigger, but he had a chance to be on that same playing field for an extended period of time with John Cena. The reason why I say he could have been just as big, if not bigger, is because we saw Roman Reigns go from suffering succotash to missionary every night. So you can get better at promos.
Yeah.
But we're talking Roman Reigns. We're not talking like some random other guy. But if we're talking top of the card, main eventer, extended period of time as the guy in the company, which Jeff Hardy said he could have done and was doing, but to rival Cena, like he had the opportunity and he gave the caveat had he had his life together that he could have done that. I think he's right. Had he had his shit together, he could have rivaled Cena. And we could have had the second coming of potentially a Rock Austin type of era, where we get consecutive or multiple Mania and or big pay-per-view main events between these two guys, and you see an extended run between the two back and forth. Although Rock and Austin was not back and forth. Yeah. Rock won one match out of 10. So let's call it what it is. But the wins and losses aside, you saw those two guys as 1A and 1B, and they alternated those spots for several years at the top of the company. And I think that Jeff Hardy was there, and he could have stayed there for a while had he had his shit together.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That's basically what I'm saying. I'm like it would be a twist of fate, pun intended, if he were to bypass John Cena. But him being neck and neck, I can definitely see it. And even like I said, even right now, he's definitely neck and neck as far as nostalgia because people still love Jeff Hardy.
Oh, definitely.
But once he gets his life in order, like once he finally gets his life in order, then people like, oh, bet. Right. Like, we wish you well. That's all we can do now. It's like, we wish you well, especially after constantly going through this, that, and the third over and over again. You're like, okay. So, yeah.
It is what it is, man. I'm just glad to see him like getting himself together, and I'm loving the videos he's making with his daughter on TikTok and stuff like that. Like, it's dope to see that kind of stuff, man. Like seeing some of your childhood idols, especially in different businesses and professions that aren't used to living or lasting very long and having a long, life and happy life towards the middle end of their lives. To see that kind of thing is very refreshing.
Yeah.
And speaking of refreshing, we got some for the first time in 2025. We got the betting odds segment before we get up out of here for another episode. We got two because we got two back-to-back events that they're currently building for over in WWE. We got Saturday night's main event. What are our expectations for Saturday night's main event? Because we have Gunther versus main event Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. How are we feeling about this, fellas?
Uh, gonna win. Cause he ain't about to lose the title to Jey Uso.
Gonna. Oh boy. I got my boy Gunta, taking the dub. Um, it sucks having Jay in these moments, but I love the fact that despite the fact that that the match might go that way, he's gonna showcase himself and the fans are gonna love it. So this should be a good bout, But I got the ring getting out, coming out on top.
It's gonna be a good match. Don't get me wrong. And the reason why people shit on Jey Uso's in ring ability, but a lot of what makes him so good in ring and why he's quote unquote main event Jey Uso is the overall presentation. Is not just the entrance, because some people I see try to limit him to say he's just an entrance guy, and that's not it. He's not like an Enzo Amore where after the entrance it's all downhill from there. Jey Uso can actually go in the ring. He just doesn't have to do that every single time he's out there because that's not what's called on him to do. But if you put him in the ring with a hooper like Gunther, I think he's going to have a banger of a match. He's still going to lose. We're going to have a banger.
Yeah. I agree. Like I definitely don't. Especially, I feel like they spoiled him losing when they said, "Oh, Jay's gonna still be in the Royal Rumble." I'm like, "Oh, so he's losing."
I'm like, he just spoiled the finish.
Good job, dumbass.
And then speaking of banger and good matches, we're gonna have Sheamus and Braun Breaker running it back for the Intercontinental Championship. What the hell are they doing with Braun Breaker? Like, this man beat Jey Uso to win the title back, and he's been in the background ever since.
They stole him for whatever reason. I don't know why they stole my guy. Because it's like you bring him to the main roster, and like, yeah, you got him win a couple Intercontinental Championships, but what are you doing to present him as a character that he was in NXT? Like, you brought him onto the main roster because of the character that he was in NXT. You know he can go in the ring. You know, like, he's going to be this freak athlete who is going to crush you. But you haven't given him the type of, like, incentive in terms of how you basically, promote him to the fans. And it's just like, if you're trying to promote him as the next big thing that you guys got going on while he's still young, this is the opportunity to do it. He's your Intercontinental Champion. He's a champion below your world champion on Raw. So it's like, it's kind of time to kind of put him up against, other guys who are worthy for that title. Like, as much as I love Sheamus and he's not going to win this match, it's like, yeah, it's a good, notch under his, under his rung, basically, for Braun. But it's like, you got to give him someone that's going to basically bring the best out of him. Hopefully this match does it. But at the same time, like, for the Intercontinental Champion, you're gonna need someone to make him be like, oh, okay, like I gotta go against you. Okay, now I'm interested. Now I'm gonna show you like why I'm the Intercontinental Champion and why I'm the next biggest attraction on the roster.
Yeah,
I think that every generation has different iterations of different roles that different wrestlers will play.
Yeah.
And I believe that Sheamus is playing that early 2000s version of Mick Foley, where Mick was brought in, and in order for guys to pass that test and show that they were quote unquote hardcore or they were built for this, or they could take things to the extreme and go above and beyond what fans are used to seeing out of them as far as the match is concerned. Like, I think that Sheamus is now taking on that role in this generation, where he's that guy. If you once because he's already set the bar, pun intended, but he wants to see if you can meet and or exceed that bar that he's already set as far as the physicality of a match is concerned. And the physicality and the realism of a match is something that you need in order to put on a storytelling match, like a good banger of a match, because part of pro wrestling is it's scripted, yes, but it's made to look and feel real. And Sheamus is one of the guys that's the best at giving that realism to what they do in the ring. And I think that they're going to use this match and or run of matches between the two of them to establish Braun as somebody who, yes, he has the highlights and this and that, but he can also be physical and maybe take a beating and then come back and overcome that and win a match. And I think that they're going to use Sheamus to kind of show that part of his development.
Yeah.
Feel that.
Well said. Well said. Last little bit of betting odds we got before we get some, because I'm looking at the chat. We got a couple of more notes that we're going to talk about too before we get up out of here. Royal Rumble. How are we feeling about the Royal Rumble stacked up this far? Because the men's Rumble is stacked, pun intended. You got quite a solid field. You have John Cena, Roman Reigns, LA Knight, main event Jey Uso. He's definitely losing next Saturday. CM Punk, Seth freaking Rollins, and Drew McIntyre. So
I'm loving it. I love that they're declaring for the Royal Rumble a big thing again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
love
I
that.
was kind of I had a mixed feeling. Like I know people who are former world champions or who are like the main attractions declare, but do you think we're gonna see the qualifying matches again, or you think they're just gonna go 100% declare?
I wouldn't mind seeing a few qualifying matches, and I also wouldn't mind seeing them have some stories come out of those qualifying matches like they've done in the past as well. So those are just ways to pop the mid card a little bit, is when you have those qualifying matches and whatnot, and then you have stories coming out of those qualifying matches. And I know back in the day, like they've even had some outside interference for guys who lost out on qualifying matches to cost guys their spot in the Rumble and stuff like that. And that pops off a feud. So there's a lot of different things that they can do from this. And I just love that they're stacking the field already to get people interested in it a few weeks out. So people are going to want to watch and tune in because there's already 5, 6, 7 guys that you believe could actually win this Royal Rumble and main event one of those nights of WrestleMania or be in the top world title match at Mania. Everybody who's in it so far, you could see them doing that. So they're starting it off the right way by drawing everybody in.
Yeah. So who do we see? Who do we see whooping Roman's ass when he get to the ring? That nigga is gonna get fight back nigga by a lot of people.
Jacob?
I'm
don't know.
wondering, how do they even bring him in?
Number one, because
Roman's
that long ass entrance.
Bruh, he gotta be. I would love to see Roman come in at like 17. And it takes him until like entrance 19 comes out before he finishes his entrance.
Fireworks. All the fireworks. All the fireworks.
So that means it counts down while his music is still playing and somebody else running right by him. So his music is still playing the entire time, and somebody else is running right by him. And then by the time he gets to the apron and stands up there, they was like, "Well, Roman, entrance number 19. Are you in there yet?"
What would be the best thing is to like, or like, screw it. Do like 17, 18, and 19. It'd be Roman, Jimmy, and Sammy or something. Like, just bring them all out at the same time and have that whole 4 or 6 minutes to just take up that whole part right there. I don't know. Do something with Roman's entrance and entering the Rumble. That's all I'm saying.
Oh man, this is god. I feel like this is gonna be up there with 2020 Rumble, with like just the peak of entertainment. How we feeling about the Cody versus KO build so far?
I ain't gonna front. I want Cody to lose at the Rumble. like, listen, man. Listen, KO. Ever since Saturday night's main event, the way he just took the Wing Eagle title and just walked away from it, I'm just like, listen, man. Cody may be the WWE Universal Champion, or whatever, but Kevin Owens is the goddamn World Wrestling Federation champion, goddamn it, and he should be treated with respect. The fact that he has to defend his World Wrestling Federation championship in a ladder match against Cody Rhodes is just asinine, bro. Like, he doesn't have to defend his title at the Royal Rumble against somebody because, Cody thinks he's been in the right in terms of how he got to the top. Kevin's been right every angle up to this point, man. He's been right. Just
the only thing that they messed up was him helping Solo.
Yeah.
That one. Well, here's the thing. They explained that when he and Solo, I believe. Well, I want to say he had an issue with Solo, but he told Solo, "You were the only one to stand up to Roman."
Yeah.
Or was that Drew McIntyre? Or I can't
That
remember.
was Drew.
But,
that was Drew.
That was Drew.
Okay, that was Drew. But you could visualize KO being along those same lines because he's like, you know what? You tried to take him down, but you were also part of the problem. So I'm not going to have as big of a problem with you.
So basically, a lesser of two evils.
Right. I'm hurting Roman by helping you. I don't like either one of y'all because you were part of his thing. But if me helping you hurts him, I'm going to help him.
Pretty much.
The enemy of your enemy is your friend.
Yeah. I get that. So, because I know I saw a lot of people saying he's the hypocrite now. I'm like, not necessarily.
Not really. Yeah,
not
The
necessarily.
enemy of your enemy is your friend.
Speaking of enemy, my enemy is my friend, Corey Graves. Y'all saw that rant he went on Twitter?
He ain't on NXT tonight.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Corey Graves, who was once a lead commentator on SmackDown before the move to Netflix, as well as a a color commentator for what was it, 2016, 2017? When did he move up to Raw, SmackDown?
It's like 15, 16, 17, something.
Because I know he was
been within the last 7-8 years or so.
Yeah, so he's been around for a while.
Yeah.
So he took his grievances to twitter.com. I am not saying X. He said, imagine chasing your dream, then being told, not deciding, that you're no longer physically able to pursue your dream. Then you dedicate your life to something dream adjacent, talking basically, and being pretty fucking awesome at it. So when he said fucking, I already knew he wasn't fucking around. You know, when you drop a F-bomb, you mean business.
I mean business, buddy.
I mean, got business, god damn it. And then he said, and he continued, and then when it's time to enjoy the fruits of your labor, being told you're not famous enough for your own job. Just in case you wondered where I've been.
Brother.
So I'm pretty sure that was a dig at Pat McAfee being placed on Raw.
Brother.
Good brother.
It's like a tweet that I put out earlier where people were like, oh, is this a work? Is this a work? No.
His own brother said not a work.
Bruh, if you just think back, that's a whole shoot because everything he said has truth to it. But then you look at the moves that they were making, and not only McAfee being welcomed back with open arms when he decides to dip for college football, but also the fact that they brought in Joe Tessitore.
Yep.
And so the McAfee thing, the Tessitore thing, and then him being shifted around. Also, him being cleared to wrestle a year or so ago, at least. I think it's been within the last year or so, maybe more. I can't remember, but he's been cleared to wrestle.
Yeah, I think it was 2022, actually.
I know it's been at least a year. I know at least a year, maybe more. So if it's been 2022, we're 2 years going on 3 years that he's been cleared and he has not had a match. And not only is he been cleared and has not had a match, He's also been getting jerked around on commentary.
Because he went from Raw to SmackDown and now NXT within the span of what, a year?
And it's like he's it's not that he's bad at his job. It's just that they hired in a guy who's wildly more popular than he is mainstream. And they brought in a mainstream sports guy to give it that mainstream presentation.
Yeah.
He did nothing wrong. It's just that it was like, hey, this is a business decision.
Hey,
And
it's
if
like it's
you-
either, and I feel like they're like, I'm not, just to play like you like to play devil's advocate. I feel like they're like, yo, we could easily just cut you.
Exactly.
But we was like, hey, we'll put you on NXT. You're still on primetime TV because everybody watches the CW. You still have good eyes on you. You just
You're
gotta
on network television now.
You're on network television, so it's like all you got to do is just find your groove within with Pat and Booker, not Pat, Vic and Booker, and then do your thing. But
Yeah.
yeah,
And I love Corey Graves on commentary, man, because he can play either the heel, the straight guy, or the baby face very, very well. And he knows how to play off the play-by-play guy and give his color commentary and provide that extra little oomph to the broadcast. It's just, bruh, like you are basically a slot receiver who your team found a big body receiver and a burner to play on the outside. And now you're no longer asked to play on the outside, the more premium position to get you paid. You're now asked to play the slot where you're not going to get ass paid on your next contract. It sucks. That's just the way it is. Like, that's just life. And if you ask everyday people on their everyday jobs, I'm more than sure that we can all come up with scenarios where we've been screwed over for a promotion or a raise or something in favor of somebody else who may not be as good or qualified.
and
It
I
happens
part time for it.
Everybody, bro. This is life. And yes, he has the right to be upset. It's just that his job and him getting jerked around and everything is more public. That's the only reason why we know about it. So this isn't something that's not. This isn't something that's new or exclusive to the wrestling industry. It happens every day.
Yeah, like, and I ain't gonna hold y'all. I'm gonna call some people out, like the way people are acting, because I'm old enough to remember where people was calling for this man's job, and now they want to like cap
Say the part
online.
off, Josh.
Yeah. You want to cap online? Like, okay, continue.
Crazy.
So, hey, whatever they do with going forward, because he's not on NXT. Is Vic and Booker, and Shanti just got a kiss from Carmen, so he finally got the milk.
Oh yes, he sure did.
So I'm not about to, like, we're not gonna harp on this too long, but it's just like whatever they got going forward with Corey. Hopefully they figure out a spot for him, or they just
do what they got to do. It's a business.
do what they got to do, because he's obviously not happy.
I really don't want to see him in AEW.
Hell no.
No.
Because I have a feeling like it won't go. Like I'm kind of down on them right now, and I know they're about to pick it back up because I was talking with Keeks about this and some other people online earlier. Like, it's just they're in a lull right now, and WrestleMania season is about to ramp it up, so that's gonna make everybody ramp their shit up. And then when WrestleMania is doing their post WrestleMania tour, AEW is going to start to ramp it up because they're trying to ramp up to All In. So, like, right now is peak season. From January, I say, through to like August or so, is like peak season for wrestling fans. If you're a fan of everything, because there's so much good wrestling happening in this period, in this time of the year. And if you're a fan of everything and you truly like everything and you like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of the, you need 2 or 3 plates to fit a little bit of everything from the buffet on your tray. You'll love this time of year in wrestling.
Yeah, for sure. So it's like, it's more so like, like that's a nice nice little closing segue too. It's like, what is everybody's obsession with, like, watching what they know they're not gonna like? The reason why I say this, because I knew for a fact, I looked at the card for AEW Collision last week. I went to sleep. I just said, I'm good. And I just went straight to sleep because I'm not about to force myself to watch something that I know for a fact that I'm not going to enjoy.
Then Jericho and
Jericho and Dax in the main event.
That was
Edge and Big Bill.
I'm gonna put it to you like this: like, there's certain times when I don't mind keeping up with stuff online because it wasn't worth me wasting the hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours, or whatever. Like, there's even been some NXTs, Raws, and SmackDowns and whatnot that I've been like, I ain't watching that back because I see what happened online. Like, cool, I can miss that episode. I don't have to go back and rewatch and it felt like I missed anything. And that happens sometimes with wrestling. It just won't be interesting from every week, and every episode of every show won't be interesting. It is what it is.
And I feel like it happens all the time. Like, there's like, if you do retro, like in my field, retrospectives. If I sit, there's going to be times where I sit through certain episodes. Like, if I want to go back and watch 2000 of SmackDown, I know for a fact that a lot of it's going to be pure ass.
Yeah.
Same 2004, 2005 SmackDown. Outside of certain people, I already know it's going to be just, I'm just going to be hitting that 10 button, that plus 10, like skip.
Yep.
That's everywhere across the board. Like, one thing I hate is people who are unanimously positive about wrestling, because there's no way you like everything. But then there could be a way that you like everything. I can't tell you how to like everything, but there's no way you shouldn't combat me by saying, "Oh, I enjoyed it. Kudos." But the beauty behind me saying I'm speaking singular, my brothers and sisters.
Exactly. This is, you know what? I keep saying, I've been saying it for the last couple of months, and I've had this idea on the table to write some stuff for. Shout out to the homies at Black Wrestling. They give me a platform to get my writing off. But I got something on the stove about this whole topic, and I'm gonna go ahead and get that taken care of. Like, I got started on it, and then I've been reworking it and deleting it. Just like, I just don't be feeling it sometimes, man. I'm like, I don't even like the way this started, so I delete the whole thing. Or like, I get 4 paragraphs in, I'm like, I don't like the way this is going, delete the whole thing. And like, I'm gonna get it right, but it's like, once I start and I know I got a good flow, then I could go through it. But I'm sorry, but when I write, it's almost like how you hear some rappers go into the booth and they just freestyle. That's how it is when I write. Like my writing process, I just open up the laptop, whatever it is in front of me, and I just start typing, and it comes off the top of the dome, and it's structured, and it makes sense, and it's good, and it's gotten me paid.
I've read a lot of his stuff, and not because he's my brother. I'm not just hyping him up because he's my homie. He's a good ass writer. So
that's why I always send him my articles so he can proofread before I release it.
Here we go. Like, y'all pulling back the curtain too much. Too much.
This ain't enough.
It's true. Like, yo, like when I got back to doing writing and stuff like that for the hit list, I was like, yo, let me pick Jermaine's brain real quick and see, like, yo, man, it's this and the third. It's like riding a bike, and I'm with you. Like, when you trying to write, especially when you're a writer and creative shit goes in your mind all the goddamn time. It's like, if it's not right, you got to scrap the whole thing off and then just start
because you're not feeling it. And like, you could ask Gresh about this. Like, when you're producing something, if you don't feel like it's right and your name is behind that, it's up to you to be like, hey, I think we need to do this with the lighting or the microphones or this or that to make this look or sound better. like, because that's your name, that's your profession, that's what you do. And as a writer, it's our job to evoke emotions and thoughts and conversations out of our audience. And I feel as though if I'm not giving you the quality enough content to do that, then why am I even doing it? It's similar to a wrestler. If you're not in this business to be the guy, why are you here? And so that's how I feel about it. And this whole thing with this tribalism and the hate watching and the hate tweeting and all of that kind of stuff, like, it's really gotten under my skin to the point where I'm like, no, like, this has to get out and it has to be said. And we gotta like address this issue head on, just like I talked about a couple other things before. There's just certain things and certain issues and topics that I think that sometimes we as wrestling fans don't want to approach or don't want to have because we're so worried about the backlash and the conversation that has to be had and the negativity that could come from it. But unless we address these things head on, they're just going to keep being problems.
Yeah, for sure. So, speaking of problems and stuff like that, the last thing, I keep adding stuff, but it keeps popping up in front of me. John Moxley, people are not really feeling this Death Rider storyline anymore. Do we feel like they've lost the plot? Or are you throwing your hands up on it?
I think that this is one of those storylines. This is AEW's Wyatt 6, but they keep pushing it. It's something that needs to jump the shark, but they keep pushing it out there. It's still redeemable, but they have to do it right. And I'm afraid that they're getting to a point where if they don't turn this around fast enough, people are going to really start to shit on it, and they're not going to be able to save it. I don't think that they're there yet. I just think that they're getting to that point where it's like, okay, we need some sort of payoff or something big to come of this, or else this is worthless.
Yeah. I agree, because it's like I was one of the people who hyped it up from the beginning with the Bryan Danielson murder, the post Dynamite promo, the build, the anticipation, and then it's just like nothing makes sense anymore. And then they're still putting Willa Yuta in my face. So it's a lot of problems where I'm just like, okay, we need to fucking pivot. But at the same time, I'm not going to be one of those guys who like hate watch it without fair constructive criticism. Like, I can not like the direction where they're going, but I'm not going to make it my mission to just say this is shit, this is shit, this is shit. We need to make this better. You need to make this better, or it's like I'm going to, because once I throw, like, I've said it on this show, I've said it on Enemies, I've said it on everybody's show that I've been a guest on. Once I do this, once my hands are in the air, I'm not even going to talk about it. Why do you think I don't talk about Chris Jericho anymore? I threw my hands up on this nigga. Like, exactly. I threw my hands up on this nigga. I'm not about.
He's talking about the motherfucker on AEW that's shaped like an air fryer.
Exactly. And niggas in that built like
nigga built like a baby mama.
That nigga built like a pork chop that's been overcooked. Like, no, we're not doing this.
Oh man,
nigga look like Miss Fowl. Nigga look like Miss Fowl from Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah, he built like a gas station lunch plate.
Quick Trip. Oh my god. Hey man. Hey man.
God damn, did that man fall off the planet?
Bro, in my eyes, he did. Like, I don't even know who they talking about. Like, I'm like,
bro,
I don't recognize that man anymore.
I'm not. He don't like it's some shit happened a while back behind the scene, behind the scenes that made me really not like that dude no more, and I'll never cut for him.
Yeah.
But like, god damn, man, like, I know the networks love him because he's the apple of their eye and he wants to bring them ratings, and that's why they keep marching his whack ass out there on TV and whatnot. But it's like, bro, at some point, like, something that is potentially good for your business can also be harmful for your business, and you have to find a way to transition on from it. And I think Chris Jericho is one of those things for AEW and ROH.
He's lived long enough to be Hulk Hogan.
Bro,
Mm.
like
I need them to hurry up and
And
get
that
the
and
evil queen in disguise off my TV. That's all I'm saying. Eat the apple of the learning tree, my precious.
hey man, I ain't got nothing else to say on this subject after that. 'Cause when he said the evil queen look alike, I'm like, dude, this nigga was
Let's wrap this up. Let's take us home. Like, where can they follow y'all on social media if
Hey,
they're not looking at audio in video form?
just look at the
Oh,
underscore
boy.
Jermaine at Sucio Sports.
Jermaine.
You can look up the whole network if you look on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Just look up CDB Multimedia, and you'll see all of our podcasts right there.
Yeah. You can find us on the Backstage Brawl on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and where the
Instagram?
fuck else we at? Spotify, Instagram, yeah, Instagram as well. On Twitter, backstage_brawl. We're also on Blue Sky as well. You can find me personally at underscore his name is King on IG, and I got a bunch of underscores on Twitter. My tagline is Raymond Reddington from the Blacklist, so that's the best way I can find me. And that's
Yes,
pretty much
sir.
it.
Yeah, and for sure, you already know where you can follow us. But yo, we hope you guys enjoyed another installment of the Gresh Unleashed podcast. We are on the road to the Royal Rumble. I guess we could say, speaking of the Royal Rumble, some of the crew will be at Raw on the go home because the 27th
Nice.
will be on that Monday, so we will be in the building on there. So if you guys run into us, make sure you catch up with the crew. It'll be me, my sister, and our boy DJ. But nevertheless, tap in with us if you run into us. We are not assholes. You can literally, if you see us and you recognize us, like, hey, what's up? I'm like, yo, what's up with you? Just don't have a cold because I will back up because I know the weather changes. But other than that, hopefully you guys enjoy another installment of the Gresh Unleashed podcast, and we will see you guys next Tuesday, same time, same place, same chaos, and all is always and forever. Make sure you guys stay safe out here in these streets, and remember to always eat, sleep, flex, and repeat. We out, y'all.